Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast presented to you by Music Never Stopped. Today is Monday, August 18th, and today on the podcast we have Jake from Dizgo.
What are you doing, podcast for lot?
Yeah.
Come be on a lot podcast.
Yeah, hell yeah, All Jammed Up.
This dude's doing a podcast. If you want to be on some podcast, come give an interview.
Hell yeah.
All
Good morning, fools. Welcome to the All Jammed Up podcast. Today is Monday, August 18th, and I am your host, Clint Dotson. Today on the podcast, we have Jake from the band Dizgo. Chloe and I went and saw them on Friday with Natalie Brooke opening for them, and Natalie Brooke was awesome. That was the first time I'd seen her whole band. I'd seen her sit in with Kendall Street before. And second time seeing Dizgo, and they were awesome, man. They did a No Doubt cover that was so sick. And feeling hella good, and I'm gonna keep on dancing. Great song. But it was a really good show. We had a great time, and I got to sit down with Jake for a good little while, and we had a really fun interview. I did interview Natalie as well, but unfortunately, technical difficulties. We just weren't able to get that one out, so Natalie and I will do another virtual interview, and we'll get that one out soon too. But today we have Jake. You guys are really going to enjoy it. He tells a story kind of about the Stratosphere Blues song they did and Billy commenting on it. The great Loves debacle, the cease and desist they got. Seeing Page's rig tour at a fish show. And then some of his early days working at Mellow Mushroom, which is like kind of a heady pizza shop for the people who don't know. So it's going to be a sick interview. Let's get right into it, though. Jake from Dizgo.
Hey, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Alrighty, folks. We are here with Dizgo keys player, Jake Evatt.
Hey, what's up, man?
How we doing, man?
Good, man. I'm doing great.
We've been sitting here for 20 minutes now trying to get this to work in this green room, talking about how awkward it is to hold these microphones and have
We
a
haven't said
conversation.
a word to each other. We've just been sitting here praying that the technology saves our asses.
And luckily, without Jake, it wouldn't have worked.
We got it.
We got it working.
Jake's mobile hotspot 22. I'm not saying the password on the air.
Hotspot one. I'll have to edit that one out.
Yeah, edit it out, man. Cut it out.
So where were you guys last night?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
And did the tour just start, or are you guys kind of...
Tour is always such a loose term. I mean, our run started where we left home from a couple days off to kick off a run with Natalie Brooke. Our tour is never ending and ever flowing, non-ceasing or ending. Yeah, we just announce a bunch of tour dates and then we just play them, but I don't think of it as like a whole tour. You know, we come home and we go out. Some bands go out for a 3-month tour and then they come back, and we just kind of always play on weekends and come back.
And
maybe we do a longer, like, week and a half run or something and come back. So,
and this tour life is pretty new to you. You said you were an engineer a year ago.
yeah, I had a full-time gig while we were still touring. Yeah.
Were you working remote, or were you like in office?
I was working in basically an industrial manufacturing kind of environment, but I was in a prototype engineering testing lab on site. It was not an Area 51, I promise. But yeah, I was working as many days as I could full time, and they did understand my schedule and let me just request the time off in advance for a tour and then come out and bust out as many hours as I could when I was back. And I basically just slept 4 or 5 hours a night for 2 years straight as far as touring and doing that job until we got to the point where we felt like we could kind of
just tour.
Yeah, just tour, jump off the edge of the cliff and pray.
How long have you guys been a band for now?
Dizgo's been a band for close to 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. I've been with the band for 3 years.
Okay.
Pickle and Kev went to high school together and probably middle school and everything, and have been playing since they were that age in Bloomington, Indiana, and formed Dizgo after, other projects that they worked on together. Formed Dizgo probably 2016, 2015. The guys are maybe around to correct me, maybe not, but something like that. And went through multiple different kind of iterations, but we're usually just a 3-piece Jamtronica kind of outfit where Kevo was playing synth bass with one hand and some keys with the other hand. and not a lot of bass guitar. So he was kind of doing double duty, and it was awesome. I saw them in that iteration at festivals and shows and stuff several times. And it was badass. And I kind of got to know the guys, but never really thought of, squeezing myself into this situation. But apparently Pickle and them were considering adding a keyboard player, a designated keys player, so that Kev could be a designated bass player, but also have a little bit more auxiliary kind of keys involvement with his Ableton rig that he has, and it's like, he has Ableton.
So how did you get in? Did they did you knew them a little bit before?
I got to know them through my favorite band at the time was Papadozio, and I was traveling all around to see them, and those guys were opening for them or playing festivals with them, and through that and the people I got to know, following Dozio shows, I was introduced to them, and we hung out at a festival at Resonance and just got to know each other, and I got to know Pat, their manager, and would ask him questions about, I was kind of self-managing a funk band in Tennessee, where I'm from, in Chattanooga. Okay. And so I would reach out to Pat for, high-level questions about what they're doing or what I should be doing. And he would always have really great input. And one day he was just like, yeah, let's jump on a call and let's talk about, whatever you want to talk about. But also there's something I want to talk about. I was like, okay.
Did you kind of know? Did you kind of
No. I mean,
you weren't even a little bit
these motherfuckers. I really wasn't. I was very happy with the band that I was playing with at the time, especially if they're listening. No. I really didn't cross my mind. I was like, okay, he's got something else he wants to ask me, but he was like, yeah, the guys are interested in having you come up and jam with them. And I was like, yeah, okay. Musicians were always like, dude, we should jam. We should play. Yeah. And it's like, does it happen all the time?
It's like somebody says someone at work, we should get a beer after work.
It can be, it can be. And it can be genuinely dude, I really want to play with you. I want to make music with you. I like what you're doing. I see, how you're thinking of music and stuff. We should jam. It can be a very genuine thing. And it can also be, let's grab a beer. We should jam. So he's like, the guys are interested in jamming, hanging, playing with you. And I was like, okay, cool. I should come up there one weekend. We'll plan for a weekend. And I just came up and started playing with them. And it was just a really good day in the jam spot. We all were really stoked on playing with each other. And we would do a 45-minute just improv and then finally settle down and breathe and then look around at each other like, dang, that was fun. And then in that moment, I'm like, this is really cool. And these guys are already doing something that I want to do. And if there's any interest in, having me do it, I'm very interested. And that's how it happened.
Yeah, you guys are good for those 45. My girlfriend came to the Motet show that you guys opened. You guys had an hour set, right?
Yeah, probably something like that. We were playing 45-minute sets, maybe 60-minute sets.
And then a couple people came in and y'all did a song together.
We did some sit-ins at that show in Asheville, yeah. We had Joey Porter from the Motet and Sarah Clark, the singer.
My girlfriend got there at 7:30 and you guys played one song. And she was like, what is this? She's like, these guys played one song in the half hour I was here. I was like, you missed the rest.
Oh, wow.
You guys go deep on those jams, though, and I do kind of feel like from the shows I've seen on Nugs and the show that I saw, it seems like that you kind of are the ringleader of the jam with I don't know what you're doing on your keyboard, twisting knobs and shit.
That's certainly a perspective. I would say that it's pretty collaborative when we're in a jam. You just got to kind of surrender to the flow, look around at your buddies and dive in. And I'd say the tone is usually set by the drums and bass initially. If we're talking about a straight up improv diving in moment, what's going on, we don't know.
But you guys, so correct me if I'm not a musician.
It's
but
okay.
Drums and bass are keeping the rhythm and stuff.
Set the tone.
And then you and guitar are bringing the funk, right?
Yeah, we're kind of expanding the what's happening. I'd say the bass and drums kind of set it up and we'll kind of take it somewhere else, and then they'll morph it from there, and the cycle kind of continues, So it's definitely largely collaborative, but
When you and what's the guy with the blonde hair?
Pickle.
Pickle. So when you and
Andrew Pickle is his name.
when you guys are doing a jam like that, and I imagine like sometimes you and him get on the same page, sometimes you guys are trying to get on that same page but can't get there.
Yeah.
But when you go into a jam and like just quickly like are on the same page,
Oh, it's magic.
yeah. How is that like? What's going in your head? And like you're like we're gonna stretch this as long as we can, or is it kind of like talked about before? Like hey, keep it short. Like what's that look like?
There's a level of, needing to be aware of the time in which we're playing the set. Like, do we need to move through stuff fairly quickly, especially if it's an opening set or something? Or are we comfortable enough? We've allotted the time in this song that we know we can jam something out. So there is a level of sometimes you're like, okay, guys, this sounds really good, but we got to get through this song because we still got to play 2 more songs before the end, and we're running out of time. And like that part is shitty too.
Do you ever just forego that? Like when there's 2 more songs, like, hey, fuck that, let's just keep this thing going.
Definitely.
And then after the show is like,
it's a tightrope that you walk between like, being in the moment and being, pre-planned.
Yeah.
So sometimes. Yeah, we wrap it up and move on to the next thing, and sometimes you just say, fuck it. Like, we're here, and it sounds good. Let's keep it going.
Do you have a side that you favor? Like, do you want to stick to the set list, or you're like, dude, let's do what we feel?
It's tough, man, because it's all about what the show is. Like I said, we do a 45-minute opening set, like you said, for the motet, where it's very much like, we're going to only be able to play 3 songs, probably. Maybe 4. It may be 5 if they're all short. And that means to show like a larger audience than maybe we'd normally bring if we're opening for a bigger band than us. We need to be like, okay, these are new ears, and we're going to go through these songs because they're doing different styles, and we want to show our range, and we want to show, the different vibes. And then sometimes it's like we're playing a 2-set headlining show, and the first set is early, and the crowd's good. Let's play a 30-minute jam here.
Yeah.
And not even worry about it, and totally forego the set list just because it sounds really good and we're vibing. And then, sometimes it's a balance of the 2. So it really depends on the gig.
So we're talking about jams, originals, that kind of stuff. Covers. Stratosphere Blues in particular. First of all, that cover was sick as hell. But then also you got A Lot of Love from the king himself.
Man, that was really crazy. And I love Billy Strings. And it was such a truly like serendipitous and organic moment how that song even ever came into existence. And then to be shown love from him on that is like acknowledging the spirit of that.
Yeah.
Of just the free-flowing kind of serendipitous stuff, not some like planned out social media move we were gonna do. Like what happened basically is just between gigs, I'm at home, I'm playing some piano with my girlfriend Anna. She's a great piano player, and I think something she was playing reminded me of that song, and so she walked away from the piano and I sit down at the piano. We just like cycle through, and so then I picked up that song on the piano for the first time, which it's not a piano song. He's on that guitar. He's doing that. So I just kind of picked that out and then like hit those low notes with the left hand, and it was like really vibing. And I didn't really think much of it, but then we start the next tour, and I think we were in Greenville, South Carolina, the day before that festival in Atlanta.
Awakening one, right?
Yes, so it was the night before that, and I'm at the sound check, and I just hit that and we're all just in sound check vibes where people are playing, somebody's tuning, but like sometimes we just bust in on a jam from that, and that's what happened. I play that, and then the bass and drums come in. And we were all like, oh shit. We looked around like, this is cool. And Pat, our manager, who's out there doing lights, he was like, you guys gotta play that tomorrow in Atlanta. And we were all like, that's a good idea. And so then before Atlanta, we were sound checking it and just talking through, okay, we're gonna actually play this. Like, here's the vocals, here's the form. Should we just do it? Okay, let's just do it. So it was legitimately the first time we've ever done it. It was brought upon by completely like serendipitous circumstances. And Pat he's always on point with like making sure the video cameras are rolling, and then he edits it and he puts it into a little reel. and you capitalize on a moment in time that otherwise it's a drop in the bucket. In the social media world. It's shitty to think that way, but like if you have the initiative to be prepared and capitalize on that moment, then you get something like that, like Billy Strings himself being like, kudos. As small as a thing as it was very meaningful to me and to all of us, and I appreciate the spirit of organic, serendipitous kind of energy that went into that.
So you're not doing too much of the social media stuff though, because I know that's a musician. It's kind of got to be like a bit of a pain in the ass. Like you're putting all this effort into your art, and then it's like, oh, but did we make a reel today? Like
that's kind of what I touched on with the fact that if you didn't record it and make a reel, did it even happen?
Yeah.
Which is like such a joke. Obviously, it's not true.
Yeah.
But in the world we're living in, and trying to run what is unfortunately is supposed to be a sustainable kind of business, what we're doing with touring and trying to make money, like, or just to feed ourselves, just to keep going. You got to take advantage of all the tools we have, and that is absolutely the biggest one. Mm-hmm. So you're kidding yourself.
I saw that, and I immediately was like, Nugs, and I listened to the whole show. So like,
there you go.
It is like you said, it's just a drop in the bucket. But on the opposite end, like the Instagram video brings Nugs. Now we're doing this. Now we're at the show. So I get it.
So yeah, to answer your question, I'm not me personally doing a lot of the like Dizgo social media stuff. We've got our manager that does a great job at that, but I still have to be very involved with like personal social media and keep this kind of interaction going between the band account and fans and friends of mine and loved ones, and my posting stuff. Like it is an annoying thing to keep up with, and the problem is that at what point do you feel like you're just like fulfilling your ego with it, or are you actually trying to like just promote the thing we're doing so that we can keep doing it, So
well, sticking to social media, you made a post yesterday. The song that you chose on it was All Star by
Oh yeah.
Dude, when I was like 5, 6 years, how old are you?
I just turned 30 a couple weeks ago.
So we're the same age. I just 29.
Cool.
And I was obsessed with that song, All Star.
Me too.
I used to sing it at like bars.
Sing?
Yeah, my mom said when I was a kid I would sing at a bar.
You better sing it, man.
So when are you guys gonna cover that one?
That's a good idea. We do a Smash Mouth song, I feel like. What is it? Walking on the Sun.
Okay.
We probably haven't done it in a while, but we have done it, and it's a fun one.
Okay.
Got that like Vox Continental sound on that one.
Did I? Hey now, you're an all-star.
It's so corny, but it's catchy and it's good, man.
Yeah, like I said, I love that song, man. Maybe you guys should break it out at Halloween this year.
Do it right now. Oh, at Halloween?
Yeah, man. So
maybe I dress up like we have some guys dressed as Guy Fieri and some guy dressed up as the Smash Mouth guy.
Did you hear what happened? This head guy, Smash Mouth?
Did he die?
No, he got like mad fucked up at a show and was like cussing out the fans.
I
and, like,
heard of that. Like
I think he was like throwing out some slurs, and they like kicked him out.
Man, no comment.
Yeah, so don't do that.
I'll try not to. You never know.
But back to the Halloween, man. I know that's got to be like pretty big for you guys.
That's one of the biggest shows we're playing this whole year, if not, the biggest. And I'm incredibly excited for that. Being from the South, from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and went to Spirit of Sewanee like
magical place.
Probably almost a dozen times, and went to a hula in like 2015 or 2016 when I was like, I don't know, 19 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that math's right. It's probably wrong, but it's something like that. Basically, I've had formative experiences, is saying least, at Sewanee, where they hold Halloween. And
how does that happen? Like for a festival that big, is like, are you guys submitting to them, or do they hit you up like, hey, we'd love to have you guys at Halloween? How does that happen?
Anybody who's booking at Halloween, it's not based on just getting a random email and saying, yeah, let's book this band. They're very strategic. Well, they're planning out who they want to book. And luckily we have a friend, I'll shout out Daryl from Tand.
Shout out Daryl. Florida's finest band.
I think, he played a large part in helping us get on that lineup because he's tied in with the Halloween Festival and Sewanee and Florida, a jam scene at large. And we love those guys in Tand, and we're going to hopefully play some shows with them real soon. And I think he did us some good, put in a good word for us to get on the Halloween bill, and we're super grateful for that.
Yeah, so when we talked about it a little bit, like, trying to draw new fans, when you get different opportunities, you want to play a different show. What kind of show will you guys try to play at Halloween?
Okay.
You like that question?
No, I love it because I'm gonna answer genuinely, and I'm gonna think about the factors that we normally do, which are like what time of day is the set and how long is it. And I think we're playing on the first day a little bit
That
during
late night
the
set?
day. No,
Oh, okay.
a little bit during the day, but on a big stage.
Nice.
So that's kind of where we balance between either like doing a late night like after party vibe at the side stage in a good time slot, or we'll play like a main stage but a little earlier,
Okay.
And we're gonna play a totally different set.
Yeah.
So those are the things that we will consider, and considering that it's on the first day of the fest, I think Thursday, and it's a little earlier in the day, maybe like 5 or 6 or something. I don't really know. It could be earlier than that. On a big stage, and we probably have like 75 minutes or 60 minutes. We're gonna play definitely our bangers.
Okay.
We're gonna play the
Smash Mouth.
We're gonna play Smash Mouth, and we're gonna play Kenny Loggins and Jimmy Buffett Power Hour. No,
I might like that.
we're gonna play our ones that people want to hear because those are our strong ones. But then we're gonna also sneak in a couple little tasty jams in there. We'll probably play 2 covers, and they'll probably be bangers. We're gonna do the like.
Too much away.
What? Okay, it's okay. Seeing how the sausage is made, but like those are the things we would consider.
Okay.
Well, how many New Year's are we exposed to, or how many like diehard fans are in an intimate setting are we going to appeal to? And in this situation, we did really well in Florida, like the past 2 times we've been there. So we got a lot of returning faces, but at a festival that big, we're gonna have a lot of New Year's. So we're gonna get through the bangers, do a couple banger covers, a couple sneaky jams.
Yeah, you said
You got it. You heard it here first.
Okay, you heard it here first, guys. Jake from Dizgo with the Halloween preview.
Couple sneaky jams for sure.
You talked about playing in Florida a little bit before the interview, and Janice Live is like one of my favorite venues. You guys played there with the Motet, you said?
Yeah.
How was that show?
It was awesome, man. That is an incredible venue. And the Motet had it packed out for us. Again, that was part of us doing well in Florida, being exposed to like new listeners like that, and just having a primed crowd to just really kick off that show at Janice. And actually, there was another opening band there, Ajiva.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it, but they were sick. It always helps to have like a first of 3 band that's like local, kind of breaks the ice. Then we were able to deliver a pretty solid, even though a short set, 45 to 60 minutes. And then the Motet is coasting to be able, to have 2 bands break the ice. And
I had Reed and Taylor from Ajiva on the podcast. Yeah,
which instrument does he play?
Reed is the singer and guitar player, and then Taylor's the bass player.
Those guys were sick, man.
Yeah. The big question everybody wants to know, though, what the fuck happened with Loves?
Oh, man. My lawyer has advised me not to speak on this matter, but I don't think he's going to listen to the podcast. Maybe I'll spill.
Did you actually have a lawyer?
No, just kidding.
Give us up the background for the people who don't know.
Okay, here's the real background is that Dizgo, previous tense, we did Loves. We went to Loves. All right, candid responses. We still go to Loves at almost every stop on the road because, like,
I would if I was you.
Yeah. Well, where else are we gonna go?
Racetrack? Pussies?
Yeah, we fuck with Loves for whatever reason, and it just became a kind of internal meme in our camp. And eventually, Pat, our manager, made the actually before he printed out the pins, he showed me his Photoshop of the logo, and I was like, yes, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And so we got the pins made, and we're selling the pins at the merch table, and we put them on our online store. And we're like, Dizgo Loves Midwest vibes,
Yeah. Because they're in Indiana.
They're based in Oklahoma City,
okay.
so that's another layer that comes in here with the NBA Finals last year of the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
But before we get there, to keep it brief, it was a gag that we did, the pin. It was like kind of an inside joke just because we legitimately go to Loves. And so we would always shoot promos like, Dizgo's here in Loves. We love Loves. Come to the show in Covington, Kentucky. Like, just because we're there. That's where we're spending our time. Unfortunately. But yeah, we get the pins made. We get hit with the cease and desist from the Love's legal team. Screenshot of the website. Hereby cease to sell this, or, you know, further action, blah, 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 legal mumbo jumbo. And we're like, damn.
They dropped
That
the ball.
sucks.
That was
Yeah.
like a great PR.
They would have gotten so much new business out of Dizgo. It's not true. But it was funny, and that made it even more funny.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't help but to play that for laughs even more when we made the, like... So we made the first, like, video that was like, you know, the official Loves thing. This is officially licensed by Loves. And it wasn't, clearly. And then we made the other video where it, like, went black and white and slow-mo, and we were like, not allowed to use Loves, and we, like, kind of, like, played the whole situation for laughs. But they legitimately sent us a cease and desist about it. And that was right at the time. That was the NBA Finals. They're based in Oklahoma City, and the Oklahoma City Thunder players have the Loves logo on their lapel.
Yep.
Like... So, and we're Indiana Pacers in the finals for the first time since Reggie Miller, and we're super hyped on Tyrese Halliburton, man. And it was just the perfect opportunity to, like, play that whole situation out for laughs. That, like, okay, we're not selling the Loves pin anymore, but it's not because of this cease and desist. It's because Game 7 of the finals is tonight, and we do not support the Oklahoma City Thunder or Loves or any of their affiliates. And for that reason only, we are cutting the sales of the Dizgo Loves pin.
That series go to 7?
It went
What
to
is Was it
whatever it went to. No, it went to 7.
Was it 7?
God, you're making me question it. I'm going to say it went to 7 because it was in Oklahoma City,
Okay.
which they had the advantage for. And also, I know that they were going to win that game if Tyrese Halliburton didn't pull his...
You're right.
because they were up.
Yeah.
And he, like...
In the second quarter.
They were up. They were close at halftime, and
Yeah.
he got hurt, I think, in the third quarter.
I took the spread in that game and lost.
You made the right call, but...
I think
yeah,
it was
you
like
lost.
6.5 or something.
You took it for Indiana?
Yeah.
That was a wise move, man.
Are you a big NBA fan? Or just the
I
Pacers run-
played basketball my whole life,
Oh, really?
but I can't follow it anymore,
Point guard?
man. I rode the bench, if we're being honest, but I saw myself as a killer Steve Nash
Okay.
point guard. But yeah, I was on the bench. I was short. I was a short kid. I had a growth spurt in high school.
Same here, buddy. I'm still short. I'm waiting on my growth spurt.
It's coming. Don't worry.
30 new year, new me.
New height.
Are you a big fish fan?
I am a huge fish appreciator. I wouldn't call myself a big fish fan, but I definitely.
Likes that in the background.
Yeah, he loves that.
laughs. But you played Page's keys, or I saw some on your Instagram that you had his keys. What was that? all about?
Man, that's another awesome story that I made friends with his keys tech. He came out to a show that we played in Pennsylvania, and he just really was waiting patiently to talk to me after the show. And, you know, I was like talking to like the drunk wooks. Maybe I shouldn't say that either, but
That's all right.
you know, you kind of
They know who they are.
you kind of like, you know, a lot of people want to talk to you out of the show, and I'm super stoked to talk to everybody. But basically, I saw one like older guy waiting very patiently to talk, and so I kind of saw that and was like, kind of like, all right, hey man. And this guy walks right up to me and is like, hey man, I really enjoyed your set. I'm Page's keyboard tech, and I was like, had to process it for a second, like,
Page who?
like, well, like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And he was like, yeah, I love your rig, man. I had the Hammond organ out and the clavinet that night. I don't, you know, based on the stage size and stuff, we kind of like might not have all the keys gear because I got a bunch of them. But yeah, I'm glad at that show that I brought it all out, because that guy was there appreciating the rig, because that's his job, is as Page's keys tech, to make sure that all the stuff's working. So he and his wife, Anne, were so nice to us, and we chatted for a while. And I'm a tech guy at heart. Like I told you, like I had an engineering gig. I have electronics engineering experience, and I do my own tech stuff and even modifications. And like I've actually made like a new kind of product, like invention thing, and toured with it like a couple times, but without going so far into that. I don't know about the evil part.
Twisting things.
Made just really good friends with Eddie and Ann, and he made a point to be like, please, like, let's stay in contact and let me know whenever you're coming to a Fish show. And I had only seen one Fish show up until that point, and it was Madison Square Garden. And it was like, it was all right. Can I say that it was like kind of all right? I really like Trey's playing, and I love okay, let's just say I love Trey's playing. He's phenomenal. I love Page's playing. I love Mike's playing, and I love Fishman. Like, they're all really fucking good. But I've never been like an insane Fish fan.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
And it's because none of their songs have ever like really connected with me. And
you mean Big Stick doesn't do it for you?
They're really good songs. They're really creative guys. I kind of see them as like theater kids, who pioneered the jam scene post Grateful Dead, and they have made an immeasurable impact on what we're doing right now. I don't discount that for a second. Just only to say I've never like super connected with their songs, and for whatever reason. But you know, joining this band, I was definitely encouraged to listen to a lot more. We did a Fish cover set very early in my tenure with the band, and that's on YouTube, and we dress up as the guys in Fish for Halloween. Link in the comments. Link right here, bros. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe. Yeah, so I had to learn some Fish tunes, and then I gained a deeper appreciation for what they're doing, and then I went to a show, and it was all right, but, you know, I'm a fan. And so, yeah, to wrap up the story, Eddie was insistent that we keep in contact because he's just a really cool guy and appreciated what we were doing. And I happened to be like, hey, man, we're considering going up to SPAC this year as like the tour closer. And we have a festival we were playing that weekend, which was Trout Stock in Western Mass. The Leon Trout Boys, really sick band. Never heard so, yeah, that weekend, SPAC, which is Saratoga Performing Arts Center, where they were playing, was only like an hour and a half from the fest, where that was the only gig we had that weekend. So we're like, if we're traveling all the way out to that fest, let's hit the Fish show. So we actually hit Fish on Friday, did the fest on Saturday, went back to SPAC on Sunday for the tour closer, which I have to say was an absolutely incredible show. They did this whole Tweezer reprise kind of shtick, but it was really, really good. Energy was definitely electric there for those guys. And after like hanging out with their crew that day and feeling the vibes of everybody being like, last night, like this was a long one for us. And it was, I think, like 30 something days on, which I don't know what they normally do, but they were definitely like stoked seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and they freaking delivered. Yeah. So to back up a little bit, yeah, I hit up Eddie. Hey, we're considering going to SPAC. And he goes, okay, let me know when you want to do the Keys rig tour. And I'm like, damn. Some part of me is like, well, that's not even going to happen. Like, he's just being nice, you know, or whatever. But I hit him up, and he's like, okay, meet me between this window where I'm available and be over here. And we just made it work. And the hinge point was, he was like, yeah, bring a couple friends. And I'm like, everybody that I'm with in our camp of, 20 people is completely compelled by the idea of getting on the stage and doing the Fish rig tour. Of course, why wouldn't they be? Yeah. And I really didn't know, like, I'm like, hey, is it cool with bringing a couple friends? Yeah, okay 3 or 4 5 or 6 or whatever. And he finally just needed him to be like, you plus 4 people, and that's it, or you plus 3, I think. So I had to do the difficult work of like deciding who should do it. And we got Pickle, the guitarist, huge Trey fan, Fish fan, Pat, the manager from day one, Dizgo, day one, huge, massive Fish fan. I asked him at that show, like, this was my second show, and I'm like, hey, Pat, how many Fish shows have you seen again? And he's like, 125. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
Dude,
that's insane.
There's a dude I interviewed, shouts out Lane. He's seeing his 200th Fish show this year.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Is he doing all right?
he's sober now. He's sober.
Now, because Fish tour's over?
No, like, he's been sober a couple years.
All right, Lane, I see you, bro.
I'm gonna keep doing these Fish tours. I gotta get.
So yeah, I got Pickle and Pat, and then our other manager, KJ, who's he's a big Fish fan too. Got got them guys up there. We're up there touring the rig, which I'm in a kid in a candy store vibes, what everybody was saying. Just looking at the rig, like not even touching it, just like, and he's like, "Go sit down, sit down." And he's like, play it. I'm like, I don't think so, man. I will, but like, come on.
How much different was it than like? I guess this might be a dumb question, but like I know when I watch you play, you're like doing this knob, moving this, and like I imagine you installed a lot of those things yourself. Would that be the same for him? Like, do keyboard players of like that get that funky and like that can make that many different sounds? Do you guys have like that much of a control of what the rig can do as far as changing settings and stuff?
Oh yeah. I mean, it depends on everybody's setup, but if you're talking about like synth sounds when I'm tweaking stuff, that's because I rock 2 analog synthesizer keyboards, and there's presets on a synthesizer when you buy it, but you can use them or you can tweak them or you can initialize the patch and start over, and then that's the way that you really get to learn the way the instrument sounds. Is by building sounds from scratch and tweaking those envelope curves of the filter envelope and the amplitude envelope without getting too like nerdy about it. Yeah, you have control over the sounds. You can rock some presets if you have a keyboard like the Microkorg, which is like probably the most widely sold synthesizer of all time. It's a $200 Korg little mini keyboard. You're not going to be doing much patch designing, sound design, or synthesis. You're going to be rocking the patches with maybe a few minor tweaks. But if you get, a big analog synthesizer, like you owe yourself the experience of sifting through the knobs and learning with your ear what they're doing and then shaping the sounds and being like, oh, this is going to make it sound like that. And then when you're in a live situation, changing it in the moment to kind of, suit your needs. And yeah, I do a lot of like, I design almost all of my own patches on my synths.
Yeah. How did that like, because I see like, I know you're multi-instrument, you play guitar. I would imagine you started out on just like a regular piano, right? And how was that progression of being like, oh, let me fuck around with the synth. Oh, let me, now I know how to change this. Like, what was that kind of progression like for you?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting progression because I've never been like, I've never really had proper lessons or anything. I kind of like had a upright piano, an old out of tune upright piano in my house that I grew up in when I was a kid, and I picked around on it when I'm 6 years old and pick out songs that I hear on the radio. And my parents were, cool enough to notice that and try to get me lessons with the church lady, but I didn't like it and I didn't really do much of it. But I always kind of had that like ear for picking around on a piano, and I bought like a couple like cheap, Casio pianos in my day. But really I played guitar from the age of like 14-ish into my early 20s.
Okay.
And really played a lot of guitar. I was in a couple bands, going from shitty rhythm guitar to decent rhythm guitar to shitty lead guitar to maybe decent lead guitar, maybe not. But ultimately I got to the point where I wasn't super happy with where I ever thought I was going to grow as a lead guitarist. And so I just like kind of reached back out into my keys roots and just wanted to learn more keys and just play more music in general. So I started playing keys more in my like early 20s, maybe like 22, 23. I picked up another old keyboard and started playing. And then shortly from there, I got opportunities to be in bands that I like wasn't good enough to be in, or like I just had more opportunities as a keyboard player, just barely knowing the chord shapes. I got a band gig basically with a blues band. And so I was playing, so I started playing like the open mic nights, and it was like, it was before COVID, open mic nights. And the blues is just 3 chords, 1, 4, 5. And I kind of learned that shape and reached back into learning the chord shapes on piano. And then I got a gig offer for that blues band, or like a band offer to be in the band. And that did me really well just to get chops, just to get reps. And then I bought a Nord. I was like, I need a good keyboard. And then from there, I was like, I need a synth. And I bought a Moog. And we're here in Asheville. This is Moog.
Did you go to the Moog Zan?
I've been to it, a couple times. We didn't have the time today, but if you're gonna buy one synth, I bought the Moog Sub 37. It's a incredible synth, and then from there, yeah, I just kind of taught myself a little bit of synthesis and was inspired by people like Eli Winderman's like synth sounds, AC from Talk. I really liked his synth sounds, and Sam and Billy from Papadozio, like just kind of like.
So were you like listening to like jam band music back then, or were you more like into the funk like scene? I guess jam band's so broad, but I mean like so you weren't a huge Fish fan. I imagine you listened to Grateful Dead, but like were you more on like the like String Cheese, Mo, or is it more like Papadozio, that kind of stuff?
Right when I turned 18, I got myself a job at Mellow Mushroom in the kitchen.
Okay.
I'd been working fast food kitchen stuff, and as soon as I turned 18, I was like, I can get a better job. Mellow Mushroom was where all the like hippies were, you know. And I was a burgeoning hippie, but I was into like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and the Beatles and shit, kind of young hippie. Didn't know any jam bands. I probably had heard of Fish, but didn't really care. And yeah, I listened to the Dead a little bit, but wasn't super into them. I work at that Mellow Mushroom, and just all the heads like that I worked with, just like I was exposed to like awesome jam band music by those guys. Shout out to Noah and Mariah in Chattanooga. So quickly working there, Papadozio, Dopapod, Talk, Lettuce, Lotus, STS9 and String Cheese Incident, and all the jam bands that make the world go round that I was not exposed to at all of a sudden, you know, as a burgeoning kind of musical hippie mind. And when I'm 18 years old, I'm exposed to all this awesome music. And that just really, you know, inspired me to keep playing music. And that was about the time that shortly after that, you know, got back more into keys and synthesis and shit.
Yeah. Do you have like a music or like musician that you listen to that's like kind of a guilty pleasure, like people wouldn't guess that you listen to? Can't say Smash Mouth.
Guilty pleasures, I'm gonna have to say Michael McDonald, because Pickle gives me shit about loving Michael McDonald.
Who is Michael McDonald?
I can't forget you're not in love anymore.
I don't even know if I know who that is.
You know.
I don't even know if I know who that is.
Dude. Michael McDonald is like yacht rock royalty. Sang on the Steely Dan records, Asia.
Okay.
But he was in the Doobie Brothers.
Gotcha.
And he has, you know, a solo career, but I'm a big fan of Michael McDonald, man, and yacht rock in general. Steely Dan and Toto and
Steely Dan's good. I feel like
Steely Dan's one of the fucking best bands of all time.
Man. I feel like yacht rock is like a shit on. I don't even really know what that genre of music is, but it gets shit on all the time. And then I hear Steely Dan is yacht rock, and I'm like, if yacht rock is bad,
don't let Donald Fagen hear you say that, man. He would be very upset. He doesn't claim yacht rock. Yacht rock is guys like, you know, Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald for sure. And then I think Steely Dan gets lumped into there because of Michael McDonald. But Steely Dan's just great fucking music, like jazz, like fusion, funk, like soul, man.
Yeah,
it really is soul music.
I've done one other interview in this room, and it was Steely Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's those guys.
I haven't seen those guys.
I watched.
I imagine for a second that every musician you get in your podcast just starts talking about Steely Dan at some point.
Grateful Dead, Steely Dan, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. That's why I try not to ask so much of questions like, when you first started playing instruments, who inspired you? Because now I know the answer. It's going to be like the same 8 guys.
Frank Zappa.
Yeah, that's a good one too. A lot of the dogs in the pile guys like Frank Zappa.
Well, Frank Zappa was unafraid to do things that nobody would conceive of doing, and yeah, he's awesome.
Well, man, we're coming up on our time here.
That was fast.
Yeah, we're at 43 minutes right now. And if it's fast, I feel we did good. But I have one last question. But the question I want to end with is, if someone's never heard Dizgo before, they come to a show, how would you describe your music to them without boxing yourself in as jam funk or jam electronica? What would you say Dizgo is?
Well, I think that's just the thing, because we try to do a lot of different kind of music, or we don't try to do a lot of different shit. That's just what we're inspired by. Like we do some like grungy or rocky or like 90s stuff, Smashing Pumpkins and like those kinds of covers and originals that sound like that, or we do like, you know, straight up jam band like fishy stuff, or we do like electronic kind of late night synth bass and drum pad stuff. Like we really just kind of do whatever we want, man. And like there's something there for everybody, hopefully. And if there's not, that's fine. We do a lot of good covers, I think. I really like a lot of old school music. I'm a like Motown, soul, funk, and like Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder kind of guy. So we do a lot of cool like 70s covers and stuff.
Yeah, I always say like if you like to dance, you'll like Dizgo.
That's the goal, man. I spent 10 years of my life going out to shows to to see bands, have a good time, dance, talk to your friends. I'm not one of those guys like don't talk at the show.
Yeah.
Like come have a good time, and that's what we're trying to do. Is make you dance, and hang out with your friends, like have a good time. That's what
I think
it's
it's
all
so cool, man, that you were working that job you were working and just doing music and going to shows and just kept doing your thing, and now you're just a full-time touring musician. And whether you want to admit it or not, dude, I think that like when up there on stage, man, you're kind of the star of the show, dude. Up there, you're killing
That's
it.
nice of you. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful, man. And again, like I said, spent a large part of my life going out to see bands and dreaming that I would do this one day.
Yeah.
And somehow I started to see that path. And so, you can really, it sounds cliched, you can really do anything you want with your life, man. You can make it happen. Just do it.
I think we should wrap it up right there, man. Thanks, dude.
Okay.
You just got jammed.
Welcome back from that interview with Jake, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview as much as I did. That was a fun one, and those guys are killing it, man. I didn't know they'd been a band for 10 years. I guess Jake hasn't been there the whole time, but still, I didn't know they were a band for that long. I'm going to see those guys again at Halloween this October, which if you haven't got your tickets yet for Halloween, go get them. Super crazy fire lineup. A little bit of something for everybody. But yeah, guys, we'll see you on Thursday with another new interview. It might be Natalie Brooke. It might be somebody else. Might have a special guest for you guys. Who knows? But the next couple weeks, we got some good ones. So stick around. We'll see you soon. Have a great week. And remember, wherever you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be.
Come along, have a drink with me. We can talk about the world and how the world is turned so slow. Day and night I found cars they drive and planes they fly. I look into the sun and the sky, you're so bright. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know there's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down. The stars, they sail across the sky, and I could watch you dance all through the night. When the rhythm is right, oh, and I know the sun is rising now. Or if the world would just slow down. So you move with me and I'll move with you, and I could spend the rest of my life by your side. It's you that I have found. Oh, and I know not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down. there's not much longer now. Or if the world would just slow down.